Hi everybody! It's Kim and Jen
from Fleece and Harmony
in Belfast, PEI, and this is our knitting podcast.
Yes. And whether you're a beginner knitter or someone who knows all the advanced knitting techniques, we're really happy that you're here joining us today.
Yes.
This is our 56th episode, and
right.
You'll be seeing it on October 3rd.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is actually the second time that we recorded this introduction.
It's actually like the 12th.
Yeah. Because we, while we were recording the original introduction, these arrived.
Yes.
And we had to start over because we never have like set decoration.
No.
And this is absolutely the most phenomenal bouquet of flowers that I've ever seen.
Yes.
And they came from our ROWAN representative, Catherine, who's just lovely and thoughtful. And she's congratulating us on our event with Arne Carlos and Trisha Malcolm, which we're going to talk all about.
Yes.
In the podcast.
Yeah, and a bunch of other knitting stuff. We have a new knitting segment called RFOs, Refinished Objects. I think it's totally a thing.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Anyway, I guess that's our intro for today.
Yeah.
And we'll slide on over to the other clip that we recorded before the flowers arrived.
Yeah.
And take it from there.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're really hot. It's 30 degrees.
It's like been tropical here all week.
Yes, which is really weird. I think this is almost the kind of weather that Mom calls cuckoo weather.
Yeah, it's very windy.
And humid.
You can tell by our hair.
Why? Yours is trying up. Mine is just getting bigger and bigger.
I've taken the messy bun to a whole new level. It's the windy bun.
The windy bun. Mine was the windy blow dry.
Right.
So Paige is outside. We put her outside under this big apple tree that we have during the day. Paige is our Angora rabbit. For people that don't know who Paige is. And when I went by to go into the shop. She's actually flat to the ground. And she looks like she's driving in a car. her hair is like this, and it's like super warm. So she's fine. She's absolutely fine. But it looked like she was coming towards me with her head out the window of a car.
It'd be great if we could get some little goggles on her.
Yeah. Anyway, it's really funny.
Oh
okay,
my gosh, she's probably very cute.
Yes, it is cute. So, but, an English Angora rabbit, hard not to be cute. Except when they bite you.
Yeah. That's crazy that you still have
better.
That scar.
No,
it
finally went away.
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah. So I had a rabbit that actually put his little teeth right into my thumb, and for some reason this huge callus grew up on it. And I don't know why it was so then I went online to try to find out how do you get rid of calluses, and they'd always talk about filing them down and then moisturizing, but the more I filed it and moisturized, the bigger it got. So then I was like, well, that can't be right, because you're actually irritating it the same as if you were rubbing it on something, like if it was on your foot.
That doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So you can only believe part of what you read on the internet. So do you
think that's why it was persisting then?
Yeah, so I stopped filing it. I stopped filing
it,
and I grew my nail out a little bit so that it would be slightly protected. And look at it. It's smooth as a baby's bottom.
That seemed really unfair.
Yeah, it was huge.
You were permanently maimed.
Yeah, so there wouldn't have been any of my hands in the... Well, actually, there is a couple tutorials you can see it in, that it's this big lump. Noticed. My thumb was all misshapen, and I thought, well, I'm not going to live with this for the rest of my life. Am I? I thought I might, but anyway, I just...
Okay, wow.
Common sense prevailed.
Yeah. And you're sporting a new tooth today.
Yes, that nobody can see it because it's back a molar.
Lucky you.
Yeah. So, I forgot to tell you that Karen at the dentist mentioned that we mentioned her in the last podcast, so I'm sure she's watching today.
She's getting to know us very intimately.
Yeah. So, if you haven't seen the episode where we talked about the fact that we got this generous gift of all these Newfoundland candies from Rachel, and not the Rachel the baker, another Rachel.
Rachel from away.
Halifax, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, I'm a cruncher, and I crunched down on one of the candies, which is called the Climax Mixture. It's the whole thing. You can go back and look at other episodes. And I broke my tooth, so I needed a crown. So it's so cool. Well, first of all, I was laughing because the dental assistants were like barely touching me and saying, "Sorry, is that uncomfortable? Is that?" So when the dentist came in, I said, "Obviously, these girls have no idea what the dentist was like in the early 70s." Because they're barely touching me and they're apologizing. Anyway, good not to be.
Well, your dentist that you had in the 70s. Okay.
Yeah, I think he...
I think anyone I had was fine, but...
Yeah,
he was
a little rough. Efficient, but rough. Okay. Wasn't too concerned as long as the job got done. Anyway, I had a 2-hour appointment and they made the crown right in front of me.
Printed it.
Well,
they sculpted it.
Yes, because what is it? 3D printing is additive, and there's a name for it.
It's
when
like
you
a
take
relief, kind of.
Yeah, so there was like a porcelain block, like a huge big chiclet, only square, in this machine, and it was all this water started spraying around, and these 2 little burr drills just went, and like 20 minutes later, my crown was made.
Crazy.
Yeah, they take about 1,000 pictures with this wand thing that sounds like Star Wars is happening in your mouth, and then they made it, and they made sure it fit on the little peg that they turn your tooth into to hold the crown, and then they said, "Okay, we're just going to go bake it in the kiln, and we'll be back in half an hour," and that was it.
So nice.
Yeah, all done. So I no longer have a tooth issue. Someone wrote and was very concerned that we have, it seems that you girls and your teeth, I think, was the thing. But in actual fact, we don't
very
really...
lucky. I don't even have a filling barrel. I think I have one.
Yeah, which was more like a precaution.
They did it without even freezing it.
Yeah.
They just roughed it out a bit, which I didn't love.
Yeah.
But because I was like, drilling sound. I've never even had it. Like, I've never had anything done.
And in fact, her teeth are so good that they stuck around 40 years past they were supposed to.
So now Beulah 1 and Beulah 2 have their consultation a week from today.
Yeah. So that's
We're negotiating the end of their life.
It's not a farm update, it's a dental update.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing's happening on the farm. Just
no.
Lambs look super healthy. Somebody asked, why would you ever lamb in the spring? And we're like, we wish we knew.
Yeah.
It's just
it won't happen again.
Yeah. It will not happen again.
Yeah. So everybody's
wonderful.
Good.
Big bellies and just robust and happy.
They're
and lots of wool on for the weather. Although today they're
roasting.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
And they're not roasting.
Yeah, not literally. Figure of speech.
But it's just a joy, like looking out and
they don't.
Good weather is a thing with livestock. Like, let's be serious.
Yeah, it's really...
Why would you have them in that horrible cold dampness, I think is what they said. And we're like, we have no idea. That's just how it's done. Yeah,
I don't know. It's really... I mean, there is reasons, but we don't need to do it. So we won't be again.
All right. So the forum update.
Yes.
Our online community forum.
Yes. It's actually getting quite robust.
That's so amazing.
Yeah. So people are going there. So to be honest, I am still checking Ravelry because I think we've talked about this before. Jen looks after the comments on YouTube, and I had to answer a question again. So now you have to go down and see. You're gonna have to go down and see, because when I answer a question out of order, it messes her up in the way that when she does it. But you're gonna have to go check because I had to answer this. It was kind of an important question.
It was a knitting emergency.
Yeah, it was a knitting emergency, and now there's lots of activity happening on the forum. So I'm spending more time on our community forum than I am on the Ravelry stuff. Although I am trying to keep up with the Ravelry part of it as well, and lots of people answering to each other and stuff, which we love.
Great. Yeah, which is what you all had asked for. So people asked, where's the best place to meet up with other Fleece and Harmony fans, and that's why we created the forum.
Yeah, so it's there. People are showing their projects and so forth. So it's getting to be a lot more fun because there's more interaction with more people. We've added a couple topics.
Yes. And we're adding, hopefully, remembering to add a thread for every episode as it goes up.
Yes.
So if you have episode-specific things you want to discuss, they'll be in there.
Yeah. So we figured out how to group things together in the thread. So if you don't see, like, the list of episodes, you have to go into episodes and then you see the list of episodes, because it was getting a little bit confusing and all the... Okay. So... Then the next thing to talk about was the event that we had on Monday.
Which was so fun.
Yes.
We had a blast. We had such good help.
Yeah, we had a blast because it all went well. We were a little bit nervous.
Well, because the technical aspects of bringing someone in from Norway, someone else in from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
230 people from all over the world.
60.
260. And then 30 people in person.
Yeah. So, and then we wanted to interact. And
we kind of wanted to enjoy it a little too.
And slideshows and movie or like video and whatever. So,
oh my gosh.
Sometimes, the peace of mind by hiring somebody that's an expert on things it's worth it.
Definitely.
And
this is about all I can handle, technically speaking.
Yeah, and even that gets dicey sometimes. So we went to Red Shores, which is the racetrack here, because we still there's pretty PEI people are pretty passionate about their standard bred racing. So for anybody
harness racing,
harness racing, which I always find it's funny because they call the little chariot they're on a bike. So
I know. It's
kind of confusing, but it's not a bike race.
It has 2 wheels.
I have no idea. I don't know.
It's a chariot thing.
Yeah, the chariot thing. It's a bike. Anyway, so it's a really nice venue, and of course, I think we mentioned this. The reason why we chose that venue is because they actually live stream races from the Red Shores all over the world, and they also upload races live streamed from all over the world. So they're creating their community of interest.
Yeah.
And
there was a TV at everyone's table to watch.
So there's a monitor at everybody's table with really good resolution. Mm-hmm. And so that was why they have a whole technical team that looks after that. And you can rent the space. And we rented the technical team, who were fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It was super funny because Scott was the tech guy. It was his laptop that we were using to look at the chat, to monitor the chat on YouTube. So it's his avatar that was there. And he said, okay, don't say anything bad because it's my name that's on there. I said, don't worry. I don't think he had any idea about the knitting questions that I would be answering. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Arne Carlos, that sweater is so good. Anyway, it was funny because he was monitoring. There's like an editing suite in a trailer that is adjacent to the building, so he could see what I was typing, and I could hear. I had a headset on. I could hear basically. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said, "I can see what you're doing," because I was trying to make.
You were making jokes about the Christmas balls to knit.
Yeah, and stuff, and it was coming from Scott. Yeah. And then people that joined late thought it really was some guy named Scott who was really interested in knitting, and I had to say, "Oh no, it's actually Kim." Anyway, it was funny.
And weren't Arne and Carlos so charming?
Yeah,
it was really great to see their faces. We had several big screens there too. Just they were in their kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. And we do have a little reel to show a few little highlights from the afternoon light. I guess we'll show now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so how are we feeling? You're right. You're ready? Are you ready to what are we doing? You're moderating this event with Arne and Carlos.
From the desk.
How are we feeling? You look amazing.
How am I feeling? My antiperspirant stopped working about 5 minutes ago.
And we've had nothing to eat. Okay, but this is really cool, everyone. Look. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There I am.
We're in like our own little television studio here. So fun, and people are starting to gather at the tables, and our logo is absolutely everywhere, which is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna get a box.
All right, so you looked pretty. Bob Costas has nothing on you with that headset.
I'm telling you, I was rocking the headset, and I only left a hot mic on once, but I didn't say, anything. So luckily I didn't get into any trouble.
You learned a whole new skill set.
I did. They said they're short for announcers this weekend. If I wanted to. I had to fill in time.
Oh my goodness!
Because we had planned to have like a little break in between Arne Carlos and Trisha Malcolm, which was 15 minutes to allow people to, what do they call that? Environment
chit-chat?
break? No. What is that? What do they call it?
Bio break.
Bio break.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And but we didn't really think about the fact that for the people viewing at home, it was dead air for 15 minutes.
Somebody wrote and said, "Luckily, I had a bag of cookies in the kitchen."
Yeah.
Because we had lovely, delicious Norwegian desserts made by their pastry chef. So if you're on the island and you're thinking of running any kind of virtual event, call Red Shores because it was really dreamy. Good. We're ready to do it again.
Yeah, we were already planning the next one.
We didn't know if we would survive, but now we want to do it again.
Yeah. And so then after the 15-minute break, then Trisha Malcolm came on and just showed like a fantastic fashion show of all hand-knitted garments in all the books and everything
from pants to scarves to it was really incredible amount of inspiration. So cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So we did get a couple questions that I had intended to answer today about certain patterns because it did go fairly quick. There was a lot of material. So I haven't forgotten, but I just didn't have time to
really we took a day out to have the event, and then there's been dental appointments and whatever else, so we're really stretched for time this week.
Yeah,
it's been a bit intense. If you've got an order in, might be a couple days late. I'm pretty much on schedule as of tomorrow, but it's getting dicey. Yeah. So we usually do try to get them out within 2 weeks, but sometimes things happen. Yeah. You need a crown on your tooth. Yeah. And for those of you who aren't super familiar with us, like we make the donuts. Yeah. It's us. When we're sitting here, there's no yarn being made. Yes. Or dyed or anything like that. Yeah. So we do luckily have a very, very patient community that generally understands that and are familiar with what we do. But for the average person, they might not understand. Like if you trip and fall, there's no more yarn.
Heaven forbid.
Right. Like it's really just us. Yeah. And a couple like part-time people, but we do the manufacturing. Yes. Mm-hmm. So that's so it's a little bit so anyway, we start to get a little bit stressed out when we've been one day is pretty manageable, but there was the event, then there was the cleaning up of the event the next day, and then today I don't know what happened. We had an interview in the morning, and then we had another appointment around lunchtime, and then we had to get ready for that. It's just like the day is just gone. Yeah, it was gone. So it's amazing how that can happen. Where you're running a small business is really an adventure. Yes, it is an adventure. Yeah. And you get a phone call from one of our funding partners, and then that takes half an hour, and there's no yarn being made. That's just how that goes. Yeah, that's it. So we're like a day behind. Yeah, yeah. So we'll try to get caught up. A day. Yeah, we'll try to get caught up. So, is there anything else that we should say? We just want to thank Arne Carlos and Trisha Malcolm because it was just the comments that you guys have been sending. It looks like you were happy with the event. Yeah. So it certainly motivated us to think about doing it again. Yeah. And we'll be so much more relaxed next time leading up to it, knowing how well Red Shores made it go. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the perfect venue. Yeah. Like they are set up for this COVID thing. Yes. Yeah. Because of all the TVs and stuff. Right. So the event grounds, like the racetrack is Red Shores, but the restaurant is a fine dining restaurant called Top of the Park. Mm-hmm. So that's where we were in top of the park. And the event was not recorded, so you can't go back and look at it, but we'll do it. We're going to do it again for sure. Yeah. 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 Probably sooner rather than later. Yeah. Because it's a great way to get together. Everybody's going to be missing the fall festivals. Yeah, and the time, we had to move the time to accommodate Arne and Carlos, who are 5 hours ahead of us. And so we're going to do the next one in the evening, I think. Yeah. So it'll be a little bit, we could probably, if we do more, alternate, because the evening here is still early. Like there's, with time zones and so forth, and I have no idea the
poor girl I'm assuming was a woman, but I shouldn't assume. The person that signed up from Japan, it might not even been the same day.
I don't know. Maybe not.
It might have been.
I'm sure they made it though.
Yeah, it might have been today there. No, the next day.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Earlier, yeah. Anyway, so it's hard with the time zones, but we'll try to mix it up a bit.
Things around.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. So now we're on to our knitting.
Right, which is obviously a lot of excitement. Okay, whip and rip. Mm-hmm. Let's do Paisley.
There was no rip.
Good.
Yeah, only whips. And I wasn't going to bring Paisley because I didn't work on it too much because I was doing something else. I sewed on all the buttons on my Sunday cardigan, and somebody had asked me if the buttonholes would be better if it was they were vertical instead of horizontal. So actually, I tried it. So so the one on the neck and the bottom on the rib, it worked fine horizontally, but I did change the ones on the body. It's the same procedure. You just go stretch in the opposite direction. So I did do that. And they still kind of come out roundish because the yarn that you're sewing around is quite thick. So
and it's not really a proper buttonhole. So I mean, you're trying to make a structure inside between strands of yarn. And
you have to go around the strands of yarn to keep holding them back. So it does have a tendency to still go a bit roundish, which is why it's important not to make them too big because you want a little bit of resistance. So anyway, I did do that because I've been wearing it around with no buttons for
which is
weeks.
nice because Janet, who works for us, is leaving the buttons off hers. Hers is stunning. Yeah. She's made a whole collection. I think she's on her 4th or 5th one.
We're going to talk about it because a question came up about choosing colors for stranding
she's
Kidsilk.
Got some beautiful examples.
Yeah. So anyway, but I will show Paisley. So this is interesting. So for everybody that has been following the saga of Paisley, I think I said this the last time, I'm much happier with the figured out the tension, so I'm much happier with the way the pattern is developing. And I think the last time I showed it, you couldn't even really see the pattern.
Just the very bottom edge.
So it's starting to...
You got a little bit done.
Yeah, I'm at the top of the first
maybe hold it
Paisley.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually a couple more rows, and I'll be starting the decreases.
Wow.
Yeah, so it goes fairly quickly. But this is interesting. So now I'm making a larger size because I couldn't get gauge, and this is the end of the yarn that I unraveled. So it's definitely bigger.
Right.
Because I was all the way through the decreases and ready to start the increases, and this is the exact yarn.
Right.
Minus what I did with the swatch.
Right. Neat.
Yeah, so, and I did measure it, and it's on track.
Perfect.
So that's good.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look like some progress.
Yeah, there's a little bit, but honestly, I just decided leading up to the event and so forth, I just needed something that I could just knit on and relax. Yeah. Plus, the new episodes of This Is Us are on Netflix, so I was watching those. So I couldn't Netflix. So I couldn't be knitting on Paisley. Well, Randall and Kevin and Kate were in there. It's a really good show. All right, so just to recap, Huxley is actually the sweater that's on the cover for men of ROWAN Magazine 66, which is last winter's magazine, ROWAN Magazine. We brought them in, and I don't think we had them in the store when we did the last podcast, so we showed a slideshow. I didn't even know, but with Magazine 66, you get a supplement.
Yeah, another whole magazine.
Right. So this comes together in the package.
Yeah.
And they're bound with a beautiful band.
Yeah. And so I love this one.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the one Brenda was talking about? No.
No.
Trisha didn't do anything in her presentation from this book.
No, it's last year's. Yeah.
But this is lovely.
Yeah. So
beautiful.
You'll see that it's a little bit more expensive than this year's ROWAN magazine was, but it's because it's got the two books.
Just look at this long cardigan.
Yeah. It's really nice. Oh. So I'm doing Huxley out of this, and there was some questions during the event about men's patterns, because it was really a focus on women's patterns mostly in the fashion show, except for the New Nordic, which is the book from Arne and Carlos, their latest one, is actually a unisex book. So this whole book could be considered men's patterns if you want. Yeah. And but we did order,
gents.
Yeah.
There's lots of gents in here.
Right. Dudes. Do we call them dudes?
Okay.
Yeah, lots of dudes in here. And we did order we just ordered, so it'll be in a week, the New Nordic Ladies, which was the first New Nordic magazine, and the New Nordic Men, which was the second one, and New Nordic Unisex is the third one.
Yeah, and I love this one.
Yeah. So I'm going to cast that on.
You're busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. So here's Huxley.
And that's this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You already said.
Perfectly plain, really, men's sweater, but fully, as they say, fully tailored, because it's a set-in sleeve and everything. You do it in the flat. And you do it, this is what the pattern calls for. I'm using felted tweed 172 ancient with Kidsilk Haze 611 drab to get this beautiful Loden green color.
So this sample here has Kidsilk.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It doesn't look as fluffy in the photo.
Cinnamon and bark.
Oh, nice.
In that color.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the brown one. And this, Ken loves this color. His eyes are actually exactly this color. So this always looks good on him. So I did a swatch and my gauge was too loose. So I went down a needle size. And I am doing this in a 0.5 millimeter needle size, and it's a sleeve, and I'm going to use it as my swatch.
Okay.
So I figured out the math. It should be okay, but if not, I'll take out the sleeve. So
you're starting with the sleeve because it's pieced. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing the sleeve to get the swatch, basically. So super easy to knit. Knits up really quickly, and it's just completely, I'm not even looking at the pattern. It's just completely, well, I don't want to say completely mindless, because if I mess it up, then people will be able to go back and say,
I haven't even used the pattern, and then 2 weeks later. Yeah, so I had to rip that all out.
Yeah, so I should have looked at the pattern.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a straightforward knit, but it's just a classic, lovely sweater, and the fabric is really nice. And the reason why I changed the fabric, went down another reason why I went down in needle size is because the fabric that I made with the needle that I was using, I felt was too loose, but this is just perfect. Okay. So that's great. So
lovely.
So then we'll do your whips and we'll do the sweater in the FO.
We have a new category called RFO.
What's
refinished object?
Refinished object. Okay.
That's coming up later. All right. So I'm up.
Yeah.
People are going to be shocked.
Because, well, you should talk about what you're wearing. Oh.
Well, no, that's my FO.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're on whips. So shocking.
Yes.
Because I could put up some big numbers when I put my mind to it. It's a 5.5 millimeter needle, and I've decided, honestly, in this gig, I'm not knitting below a 4.5 ever again.
Really?
No.
Oh, I like it.
This thing, it just takes way too long.
Yeah.
Like, I need progress. You know what I'm saying?
She's a box checker.
So this, well, I need to have something to show.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent all summer on this.
Yeah.
All summer.
Yeah.
Well, I did it twice.
Right. I was going to say that, but.
So this is the back of my darkness. And I don't need to tell you how much I'm loving working on it, obviously, because I got all this done. And I'm on the left front.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm basically like half done the body of the sweater.
Right.
You have to add the sleeves, obviously, in the hood.
Yeah.
But, and it's in...
Brushed Fleece.
Brushed Fleece in Headland.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Which we have tons of.
Yeah.
And I know, Sheila, you've made some comments in the community forum about it, and I am going to get in there and answer you. But this is...
yeah, it's dreamy.
So excited. Super dreamy project. I find the yarn really easy to work with. The pattern calls for a 6 millimeter. I'm doing it on a 5.5. Andrea from Fruity Knitting did it on a 5.
Oh, okay.
But I checked my gauge again, and it was right on. Because the way I determined my gauge is I knit it with a 6 millimeter, and then I took the actual millimeter amounts, interpolated it down, and figured that a 5.5 would get me the right size. I didn't knit a second gauge swatch.
Okay.
I was just kind of like, okay, well, if I take 0.5 millimeter off each stitch, how many will fit in that space?
Yeah.
So it worked-ish because I have gauge without blocking.
Okay.
So it's possible it's going to block out a little bit larger.
Yeah. But that's okay.
But it's the style.
Yeah.
I hope it's going to be okay, everyone, because I feel like we've been down this road before.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
But in this case, much better for it to be a little bit larger than too small. And if I have to, I can seam it a tiny bit smaller, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I could go in 2 stitches from the edge, a little bit of a waste of yarn, but if it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not panicking. I
could actually ease your mind and wash and block this, because you should wash and block before you sew.
That. Yeah.
Anyway.
But I'm not going to turn around and switch needles halfway through the project, am I?
Well, no, but you might still be able to make a little bit of an adjustment on the front if you wanted to.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to go with it. I thought about that too. I will wash and block it. Of course, before sewing it. But I'm not too worried, but I was surprised that Andrea had to go down a full millimeter from the pattern gauge, because that's quite a lot.
Well, she might have chosen to do that for fabric.
Well, this is the great thing about this project. It's so fun. She has an hour and 50-minute tutorial on the Fruity Knitting YouTube channel making the sweater, and it's like the best. It's like knitting along with Andrea.
Oh, great.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, and a lot of people did recommend it. I knew it was there because, of course, I watched their episodes from the very beginning. But or I went back and watched them. We haven't watched them from the very beginning, but it's so cool. Like she goes through it every step by step.
Yeah.
And you can kind of knit and see how she did it, and she gives wonderful tips.
Yeah. At
each stage, as only Andrea could, because she's just such an experienced knitter.
Yeah.
So it's really fun doing it, and then having that. And then if some of you want to knit it too, and we can chat about it on the forum, even better.
Because you put a thread up.
I did. I haven't been there. I'm terrible. I need to start going in on a regular basis. But now my notifications are working. For some reason, for a while there, I wasn't getting them.
Oh, no.
But
mine
now
are working too, yeah.
So that's Darkness in Brushed Fleece Headland.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it's going to be pretty close to being finished by next episode. And then, if people are wondering, my Teradel hat is still in the works. I was actually going to pull it out again this week and try to finish it. Yeah. But I chose to start the front left instead.
So this is your second project with Brushed Fleece. You really like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know what the thing about it is? This is so light.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so light. And it's warm. You know, it's a wool alpaca blend. It's just...
Yeah, so you've got the comfort and the coziness of a heavier...
because this is like a full-length cardigan. It's going to go down over my butt.
Yeah.
But it's not going to weigh anything.
Yeah.
It's like air.
Yeah. Great.
I have no idea. I guess it's like... Is it like a core spun something or other? But it's like
what do they
bunch
call
of fluff around a core.
Oh, okay. Or is it blown into... what do they call that? I forget what they call that.
I don't know. But it's amazing yarn construction. And it drapes beautifully. I love it. Yeah. Now the first project was just a baby sweater, so I didn't get a huge feel for it, but I'm loving working with this, and I think the color's gorgeous, and I'm super excited. So my Teradel hat, that's a Kate Davies pattern. That's in her Malarkey Heaths book. Yeah. And I haven't picked it up since I started this Kate Davies pattern. But I definitely am going to finish it. Yes. And I was going to try to finish at least the snowflake motif this week, but I'm too addicted to this Brushed Fleece jobby. And so after I get the hat done, then I'm going back to my Flat Rock by Jennifer Beal.
Oh, okay. I see it's out. I saw it out.
It was up here.
It got out of the project bag, so that's a good sign. Step one.
So I've never not finished a project.
No.
Other than I couldn't get gauged. People have asked me about this, but with her Saint Lunaire, Jennifer Beal's Saint Lunaire de Griquet pattern, I just couldn't find a yarn of ours that was suitable to make it with. Yeah. It just really, it's not often that it happens, but I could not get the fabric I wanted. Yeah. So I ended up not making that.
But maybe you can knit it with something else that we have now.
Yeah, I could if I wasn't on a 4.5 millimeter only hiatus.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how long that lasts. Yeah, I'll tell you something. My next project is going to be out of a yarn that's coming up in the shop update. Oh, like I'm coveting it from big time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that.
All right.
So that's the whips.
Yes.
And now we'll do FOs?
Yeah.
Okay. Easy. So I finished Pabaigh.
Bye-bye.
And I found this cute little top, which sort of matches it perfect.
Yeah.
Which I'm wearing underneath. Now, it's very cropped. And I made it an inch longer.
Yes.
And I don't know that if I have a particularly long body or not, and I have no idea what Kate Davies' height is, but I mean, I made a larger size. I probably would have made it longer. And when I went into the Ravelry projects, a lot of people made it longer, but I didn't think of that ahead of time, so I didn't have the extra yarn.
But it's super cute over the t-shirt.
It's super cute.
Yeah.
It's also very warm.
It was very funny blocking.
Yeah, because I'll do that. I hope I don't completely destroy my hair, but I mean, this neck here is like really something
Now you
else.
look like one of those things that goes with their arm. Can you see? Yeah.
I don't know what to say about this.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was a lot of knitting.
Yeah.
For a neck.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It does have an effect though.
An effect?
Yeah, like I mean it's like a
She wanted it generous.
Yeah.
Are my eyebrows all schmoot around?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all good. So yeah,
So
it's quite the neck. The neck is as long as the body. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And unfortunately, Maritimers have no shame, and Kim told me I looked like a clam head. Or
I think I said gooey duck, which is a big clam.
so it's now the gooey duck sweater.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kate.
You have your words that are hard to pronounce, but if you look at the spelling, and we have ours.
Yeah, take that with your Gaelic. It's a lovely pattern.
Yes, it's very cute.
But it does look a lot like a clam head.
Yeah.
Which is, something I've always wanted to evoke when people look at me.
And now they'll never forget. That'll be the only thing they see. Anyway, it's fun. And it's really super cute.
And I'm obviously going to be able to wear it because it's 30 degrees right now.
Yeah.
So when we go in transition into something slightly cooler.
Yeah, and the colors is exactly what you wanted in that yarn.
Definitely like, crushed strawberry color.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, which is a big deal around here, strawberries. So that fits right in.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing it to the next strawberry social.
Right.
Whenever that is.
Yeah, there's lots of those around.
So I am happy to be done with it though, because that was a huge time investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a 2.75 millimeter.
Yeah.
Or maybe a 3 and then 2.5 I think I used on the ribbing and stuff.
Yeah, it's
but
a nice
it felt
fabric.
small.
Yeah.
Because the single ply is very thin.
Yeah, and the texture, like the stitches are very fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
So bye-bye, Pabaigh.
Yeah, so that's it.
And then we have an FO from Jennifer Hicks.
Yes. So Jennifer knit I really don't know how to pronounce Norwegian any more than I know how to pronounce Gaelic. So
we actually are from Gaelic
stock. Yes. Yeah.
So,
I actually took Gaelic.
Norwegian being any better are slim to none.
Right. I actually took Gaelic lessons and still can't pronounce any of the words correctly.
Jennifer Beale for that.
Yeah. So the what Jennifer Hicks knit was it's Aune. So Aune, or
okay.
I'm thinking.
And she knit the smallest size.
Yeah, they're small.
And I have huge hands.
Yeah.
But they're a bit teeny.
Yeah. So she's knitting another pair in the larger size.
Yeah.
And she's already written to us and said that they're much more generous.
So just a lot of people bought the book.
Yeah.
The small is pretty small.
Yeah.
Like these would not. They probably fit like a lovely petite woman.
Yeah.
Like the average woman.
Not
5'7" with giant basketball player hands.
Yeah. Your fingers are particularly long.
I have huge hands.
Yeah, and my hands are not that big, but they're wide. We tend to be wide across this way, so I can get them on too. But
probably better than I can.
It's just I feel a little bit. Oh,
those women who have a ring size 5?
Yeah,
that's for them.
Yeah,
they're
like so cute though. Here. They're so cute,
really, and she did a lovely job on them. And she seemed to get them done quite quickly.
Yes.
It's quite the chart. I just looked at the chart and was like, good on ya.
Yeah. So that's good if you're used to knitting these kind of color work. The thumb, it's really nice because the thumb is not just stuck out on the side. It's like the proper like gusset, and they're really cute.
Yeah, and it's a lovely yarn, of course. So this is felted tweed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
So, yeah, they're really good. So that's the first thing that we've knit out of the book.
Yeah.
And
more coming.
Yes, because I am gonna knit the Rhina. The reindeer one. All right. So now
RFO.
Yeah. So this is pretty amazing. Okay.
It's very cool.
I have a before picture that we can put up.
Of the sweater?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Is it on a person?
It's on Ken.
Okay.
So
I've assumed they've just seen that. Okay.
Don't write, because Ken knows that I'm going to talk about this. So I actually went back and looked to see when I knit this in 2018.
Well, we do want them to write. They just
yes.
We want you to comment.
You don't need to worry about Ken's feelings about this, because I'm going to be totally.
Do comment. Don't worry about Ken's feelings.
Yes. So don't. I told him what I was going to talk about. So this is a Martin Storey pattern, Roscoe, and it was the very first project that I knit with our Aune yarn. And so I did do a gauge swatch, and everything was going fine. But I really didn't pay too much attention to the row gauge, because I was always obsessed about the stitch gauge rather than the row gauge. And so I knit the proper stitch gauge, but I just didn't really pay much attention to the row gauge. Our yarn, if you buy any of the yarns that we make here, they have a tendency to the rows really tighten up. So you have no problem with the width, but you'll get your project will be shorter after you block it. Unless you block the life out of it, which then you don't want to do.
It's hard to even do. It
yeah,
doesn't really give a lot lengthwise.
Yeah. So that's something that you need to be aware of. So now I always knit more generously. On top of that, I am always worried about the bust, to make sure that the bust, when I'm knitting for myself, I had never really knit him a sweater before. I did, and it was too small as well, actually. So, or no, it was too big, but it was a big, like, drop shoulder. Mm-hmm. I probably didn't even do a gauge swatch. I just knit to pick the size, and, you know, one of those things. Yeah. Knit a sweater and look for a victim it fits. That was my style way back when we were first married. But this one I really wanted to do a good job, so I did pay attention. But I did the right chest measurement, but I didn't take into account.
This is exactly like the Franken sweater.
Yes. It's different knitting a men's sweater versus a woman's.
Because they have a contour to their front.
Yeah.
That's not a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not at the bust.
Right. And it's also not like from here to here.
No.
You need to
accommodate.
Do a proper front measurement.
Yes. So I didn't do that.
How would Shirley Penn handle this conversation?
I didn't do that. She
probably has a technical term for it.
Yeah, I didn't do that. The girth of the sweater was not correct. I didn't do that. And on top of that, it shortened naturally in the blocking. So what ended up happening is Ken ended up with a sweater that was beautiful down to a certain point and then just stopped. So it wasn't really very flattering. Enough. And if you follow the coconuts method, the lines weren't hitting him in his most favorable positions. It was too short. And it only kept getting shorter and shorter. The bigger
as time went on.
As time went on. Okay. So now, 3 years later, I couldn't stand it anymore because I really...
Because he loves it, understandably. Yes, look at this motif is incredible.
Yeah.
And it actually does look too wide on top of it.
Yeah, but
it's
not.
Probably a bit big. Okay.
It's not, actually.
Oh, okay.
It looks a lot bigger now that I fixed it.
Right, okay.
So there was my dilemma. It was a bottom up, and what I really needed to do was take the ribbing off and knit another 3 or 4 inches on the bottom. So I have actually never tried to unravel from the bottom up, so you can't do it.
No, it doesn't unravel, but you can pick it out.
You can pick it out, but I wasn't picking out 4 inches of the ribbing and starting over. Right. So, and also there were side seams. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to knit each piece front and back individually. So I had a little bit of just trying to figure out what to do. A bit of a strategy. And I put it off, but then I couldn't. Now winter's coming and he wasn't going to be able to wear the sweater that he loves. And I was always, every time he put it on, I felt bad because it was really clearly too short for him. So anyway, I put my Paisley aside, and then I did this before I started the Huxley. So this is the other thing that took up my time. So in the end, I ended up picking a spot. I undid the side seams. I just unpicked the sewing that I did up to the point where I wanted to restart the knitting. I inserted my needles and made like a lifeline.
Picked up one leg of each stitch.
I picked up one leg of each stitch. And then I cut the rib off.
You cut all the way across?
No.
Okay.
I did that on one side. But I didn't stop doing it because I realized it's pretty difficult to pick up the stitches all perfectly. So when I started to cut, I realized one of the stitches was above and one was below. So I thought, well, that's not safe to do. So I stopped cutting, and I cut below, slightly below, and then I unraveled.
Okay.
So I wasted a little bit of yarn, but it really wasn't that bad. So I really have to take this off. It's gotten to be like 105 degrees Fahrenheit in here, so I can't stand it anymore. All right.
That's the Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry.
Yeah. So, which is really a lightweight shawl, but holy smokes, I'm really... Okay, so now I'm going to have to be conscious of my posture.
It's got Kidsilk Haze in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I did. So I inserted I picked up the sides. I inserted a cable from just my needles that I was going to knit with and cut slightly below and then unraveled all the pieces just to make sure. And I still had a little bit of stitches that were up and down, but I was able to put them in the right one. Like once you unravel, you see right away.
Right. So then when you went around to start knitting, you'd fix it at that time.
They were all fixed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you had like a little flap, or whatever. So you need to be careful. There's probably a better way to do it.
How long did that whole process take?
It took a while.
Yeah.
Because I started by trying to undo the cast on and I did a full round of that and then started to and I said, forget. So that took up.
Yeah.
I was persistent for about 45 minutes to an hour. And so that didn't work. And then I started over, but I already had the needles put in because I knew that I didn't want to, even if I was unraveling it, I didn't want to go too far. So that's it. I saved the yarn because then I cut off the rib and then I unraveled in the right direction, downwards. Yeah. I balled up the yarn and I had 2 balls of yarn because it was knit in pieces. I soaked those and reskeined and started over again. And I started knitting with that yarn. Luckily, we had an extra ball of this. Wasn't the same batch, but your color was pretty close to the... So the dye lot was going to be an issue. But I knew that if I used the original yarn, I would start the new ball on the rib because it would be less...
Or you could have alternated them all.
I could have, but I already had chopped up the yarn and stuff like that. So I re-knit the yarn down to... I just knit for as long as I had yarn. And I didn't get it exactly right because I think the piece that was on the back... I knit on the front, and the piece that was on the front, I knit on the back, but I had a 50-50 chance of getting it. But, and also the sweater had been worn for 3 years. Right. So it's not exactly...
Not identical anymore.
The texture is not identical, so I wasn't sure how it was really going to turn out, but it was definitely going to be better than it being too short.
Right.
So then I re-knit in the round. I even took the time to put a purl stitch on the side because it was seamed. So you have this little gap that forms when you put the sweater on. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So I inserted a purl stitch in the round so that it creates the same effect.
Look. Actually, your seam's so tight though, you almost needn't have bothered.
Yes, I know. After I really...
your faux seam is more noticeable than your real seam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
good idea though. Like
I tried to really do. I wanted to try that too because that's a trick the pattern designers use to make it look like it's seamed.
Right.
But my seam is actually
too perfect.
Invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just knit I used almost another ball of yarn for the
and now
the bottom.
He's happy with it.
It's perfect. It fits him perfectly. It made the whole thing look bigger though.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know, as long as it fits because it's beautiful.
Yeah. And the color match is not bad.
No. Well,
once it was washed,
the sweater, like
yeah. And you know, there was this has been worn, like I said, for 3 years. So the stitches are it's not really felted, but they're just kind of puffed.
A little bit schmooed.
Yeah, a little bit schmooed because it unraveled perfectly. So it's not felted, but it's and the back is
tiny bit rubbed, maybe.
The back is even better. The match is really like you're going to be hard pressed.
Super satisfying.
Yes. I think it's the thing that I'm the most satisfied ever.
Yeah.
I've said that before, I think, about stuff.
You say it every episode.
Yeah.
It's okay. One of us. This is my favorite thing ever.
No, but it's just, well, it was great because it was a rescue. Mm-hmm. So it's really, and he's happy. It fits him perfectly. It hits him in exactly the right place. And he'll be able to wear it. Well done. Yeah. Now you're ready to finish your quilt. My quilt that I started in 1995. Here. She's got a 30-year-old quilt that has how much quilting left to do on it? Just the border. The border. Can you imagine? Yeah. 30 years. Yeah. Somebody will offer to take it and finish it for you. I bet. They'll be like, please send me the quilt. Yeah, no, I want to. What a shame. Yeah, it's hand stitched too. Serious. And it's queen size? Yeah. And some, a little bit. Because I couldn't decide what border I wanted, so I kept making more borders around. It's kind of like the Haps shawl thing. It's beautiful. What much do you have spent on the fabric? Well, I remember because it was when Ken and I we weren't first married because we had our anniversary a couple weeks ago. So we've been married 33 years. So it was 1995 when I started it. And I can remember because I wasn't making a lot of money then, and it was $225 for the fabric, and I just now it would probably be $1,000. Yeah, well, all that quilting fabric, like brand new from the store. Yeah, and I had to buy all the tools, of course. Yeah. Because it's not, you can't do a craft without having the quilt making business. Yeah. So anyway, and I even did a swatch for that. Because I did a little throw thing to see, like, to practice quilting. Oh, to practice quilting. You know, it was like 4 or 5, like 4 or 6, I guess, with a border and everything. I have no idea where it is, but. Oh, and where's the quilt? It's under my bed. Oh, okay. Under this bed here? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So everywhere you've moved, it's gone under the bed? Yep. Yeah. I take it out every now and then. I've got 3 different quilting frames because I was like, oh, I don't really want to set up. I had one of these big quilting frames. Then I got, and I heard you could quilt on a hoop. So I thought, well, I'll do it if it's just sitting there in front of me, like knitting or whatever. So, but I didn't like that because it was too small. You'd quilt for 10 minutes and then you'd be at the end of the hoop. So then I got a giant hoop that stands on a stand. So I've got all the equipment. There's no excuses. Amazing. Yeah. I think I actually still have the original. And how do you make the pattern? Like, there's a template, or is it stamped on, or how do you know? It's the quilt is a log cabin quilt, so you just follow the edges of the strips. Right. But the border was a fancy scroll that you trace on with that chalk, like a chalk, a little rotor thing that deposits chalk in the pattern. You go use a template. Okay. Wow. Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's like burgundy and navy. Navy and burgundy and paisley because I like paisleys and to haul that out for next time. Make all my quilting dreams come true. So that's it. All right. That's what we've been up to. RFO. Yeah. All right. So now we're on to the shop update. Yes. So the first thing you have is the ROWAN 66 supplement, but we already showed that. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So what I am so excited about, because we talked about this last time, but we didn't have them here with us, is the 2 new yarns that we now have every color of. Yes. Except for there's one something. No, nothing missing. This one. So this is the Soft Yak DK from ROWAN, and this is what's in the cushion collection. Yes. And I've been loving shipping these orders out. Like, you can just imagine. Cushion colors all together, you know, in the box, making me so happy. Yes. I love color so much. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. And it's really neat to kind of live vicariously as everybody puts in their orders from the cushion book. Right. And I get to put them in the box. It's giving me a serious thrill. I'm like a color nerd. Mm-hmm. If there is such a thing. And this is a chainette yarn. And it's got a bit of cotton in it. It's really perfect for a cushion. Yeah. Yeah, because it would be very sturdy with the chainette construction. Yeah.
In terms of wearing, like, I mean, I would love to make some, but I have a wolfhound and you can forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be so nervous.
I might make one, I think, because I'm intrigued to work with this.
Yeah.
And but I just saw somebody just posted, ironically, a sweater made out of it.
I think would
be nice.
It's a fascinating yarn, and the color it has for something that's cotton based, a lovely luster.
Yeah.
And the color is like very jewel.
Yeah.
Tony, because the yak, I assume, gives the heathered look to it, because that would be a darker color fiber that's blended in. And that always adds so much depth to a color. Yeah. It's a little bit trickier in the lighter shades, but in the dark ones, you can see how jewelly they look.
Yeah. And there's 23 shades, so this is just an example.
Yeah,
of
I can only carry so many of these out here, because we're still not recording in the shop again, as you can tell. Then this isn't the one that I'm the most excited about.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So that's Soft Yak DK.
Yeah.
So that's available on our site. We have every shade.
Yeah.
And it's the one that's in the Arne Carlos kitchen collection.
Yeah.
Cushion
and their
collection.
book, if you go through the book, they've used every single shade except for one.
What one didn't they like?
I don't know.
ROWAN should discontinue it immediately.
I don't know.
They couldn't find anything to do with it? What?
I don't know why. Maybe it was new. Maybe it was listed.
That's hilarious.
Newer one. I don't know.
They're like, not that green.
No.
That's where we draw the line.
No, I don't know why. There was one, because I was debating, like, well, should we just get the colors that are in the book? And then I said, okay, well it's everyone but one. So everyone's used.
Is there a, I don't know, a white or no? There wouldn't be.
The black, maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
All right. So, Alpaca Classic is what I just drool over every time I go by these in the store.
Yeah.
And I put a little picture up. Oh, no, that was Felted Tweed, the picture, but similar fall shades.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to talk about, like, look, these pink shades.
Yeah.
I'm in love with all of them.
It's funny how it's very soft and lightly skeined, balled up. It looks like one of those baby toys that you put the rings on the top, because the bottom ones are getting wider.
And here we have blues and lovely fall colors. Yeah. And it is a single ply. It's fluffy as anything. Yeah. Light. So these balls look quite voluminous, but they're 25 grams. Like they're, it's just super light. So I'm telling you, next project that I do after I finish this Taradale, probably at the same time as Flat Rock, because I'm going to tell you right now, that Flat Rock's going to take me as long as your Jobat's arm.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to try to get an inch on the body done on it every 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right.
Once I get past that tuck stitch part that's so intense because you're using two colors all the time, then it'll go faster. But I'm going to finish it, obviously. It's a beautiful pattern. But yeah, then I'm picking something with this. Yeah. And I think it might be out of the Martin Storey wrap book.
Oh, yeah?
There's a lot of ponchos coming out for the fall.
That's not this, though.
Oh, which one was that?
It's, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, okay. That's another alpaca one? Yeah. Is that whole book done in the other one?
Yeah. Oh. Okay. It's a different kind of yarn, though.
Is it as nice and fluffy as this?
It's a different yarn.
Okay. I don't remember what that felt like.
It's applied.
Okay.
Yarn. Yeah. It's also a DK.
Okay.
But it looks like a more traditional. It doesn't have a lot of this, the fluff on it.
So this is Alpaca Classic.
Yeah.
We have all the colors in stock.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yes.
It's the softness.
Yes.
Like of the tones. Mm-hmm. That I'm in love with.
Yeah, they have very like gentle, like champagne.
It's gentle.
And
it's just beautiful.
Yes, they're very soothing. The palette is very soothing.
It's really like whoever designed that palette is.
Yeah,
it's right in my head.
everything goes together. Like it's hard
because like the depth of shade is sort of kept to a certain.
There are some darker ones, but the Reina or whatever the sweater
with the reindeer on it.
Is made out of the snowflake white and Eclipse, which is the dark navy. So beautiful. I'm gonna do the swatch
and the creamy white snowflake white.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see that. And that's going to be so fun watching that motif come out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's in charge.
I'm a little bit envious, but
okay.
I could also knit it if I wanted, but...
Small needle gauge, maybe.
We'll see. Okay, so... All right. So, and now we're getting Alpaca Soft.
Yes.
DK.
Yes.
Okay, which is the Martin Storey wrap book is all based around that yarn.
Yes. So Carousel, which is
Right.
the new Martin Storey book. And there's like ponchos and beautiful like colorwork scarves
Right.
and cowls, but big cowls. And there's a jacket, like a long
Right.
jacket. So that book is made out of that. And
but I'm talking about the It's a Wrap book.
I don't know what's in the It's a
Okay.
Wrap, like what yarns he's using.
Okay. That's where I was thinking of getting mine from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm talking about the new one.
Right. Okay. Well, we don't know.
Yeah. So
When
the
we
new
get the
Martin
new one,
Storey.
we'll bring the Martin Storey book out and we'll discuss.
Yes, the
Okay.
Martin Storey book.
Aww.
Anyway, so now I have mohair.
I know,
stuck
it's
in.
everywhere. I'm picking it out of my lip gloss. It's in my eyes.
It's really loose in that Birds of a Feather. So yes, so we're getting that book, and they'll be here next week.
Lots of fun stuff in the shop update next week then.
Yes.
So you've already ordered the Alpaca Soft DK?
It's tomorrow.
You're ordering it tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
so
we'll be
it'll
here by
be-
next episode.
Yeah.
We're having so much fun with this ROWAN stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's coming.
All the yarns.
Yep. And then what else is on there?
Journeyman. That must be another book.
So Martin Storey also did a book that's exclusively men's patterns. And they're all classic designs, so timeless, really.
Okay.
And I ordered that. So that's coming in at the same time.
Cool.
So they're all like classic cardigans, classic pullovers. There's
Right.
an Aune cardigan,
Right.
like a cabled, and
Neat.
so it's a whole book of men's stuff.
Okay.
So we felt really bad
I
about
hope
the
there's
guys
a
that.
hooded sweatshirt.
So we felt really bad about the guys that it was all good. Other than the Arne Carlos unisex book, there
Right.
really wasn't any like
Men's
more
patterns
traditional,
yeah.
classic men's patterns.
Right.
It was all
Okay, good.
okay.
So then we have some new things from Jewel Designs.
Right.
And they're really some lovely ones. Yeah. Okay, so new things from Jewel, because we're slowly kind of getting to have everything that they offer, or she offers as well. So this one's called Wild Grape Tendril.
Why don't you put it on your darkness so people can see it?
Yeah, oh boy, it's a world of excitement. Okay. So these are all, this is a shawl pin or a brooch?
Shawl pin, I guess.
What's the difference?
Right. What is the difference?
Somebody will tell us. So that's Wild Grape Tendril. Pretty, like, funky.
Yeah.
Cool. And I love this next one, which is called Swirls. This is, like, super cool. I love it. It looks like little shells.
Yeah.
I've got this double thick. That's why I'm struggling with that. I love the sound it even makes. It's heavy duty.
Yeah.
So this one swirls.
Mm-hmm.
Probably goes sideways. I don't know, but
Yeah.
so neat. Love it. So that's listed. And similar to the Dragonfly Hummingbird.
Yeah. Filigree hummingbird.
Everybody who ordered Dragonfly now is going to be like, I didn't know there was going to be a hummingbird. Now I want that one.
Of
and
course
these are
you do.
beautiful because they're designed to have the main part go up over the fabric, so it really looks like they're just sitting on it.
Yeah.
Like the stick goes up past, if you can see,
Yeah.
past the bird.
Right.
Or the dragonfly, whatever the case may be. And it just makes it look like it's sitting right on your lapel.
Yeah.
So cute. So hummingbird. I don't think we ordered enough of these.
Okay. And now we're out of dragonflies again.
I know. Can't keep up.
No.
But we'll place another order. But I don't know if you can see the detail. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Lovely.
those are new from Jewel. Mm-hmm. One of our very favorite companies.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. All right. And then we had a request to add something with Chiagu, which was DPNs.
Yeah.
And we had them in the really small sizes, but people have been looking for them in larger sizes. So now we've added them up to 4.5?
4.5 or 5.
Okay,
I
5
can't
millimeter.
remember. We just got them.
Because we only had up to 3 or something, 3 millimeter.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've added larger sizes in the Chiagu DPNs.
Right.
And they're wonderful, as all Chiagu needles are.
Yes.
So
We just got them in the metal.
so if the person who was in looking for
stainless
them,
steel. Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but I know there's a local person looking for larger DPNs. we now have them.
Yeah.
I think we've had several people come in looking for them, actually. All right.
Now we have the tags.
Oh, I'm not done. Goodness me. Yeah, they weren't on the list. I got all discombobulated. Okay. Yeah. So we got, these are a Canadian-made product. These are new. Are they birch?
Yeah.
They're birch. Made in Canada. And they say handmade with love.
Yeah. Little tags.
If you can see.
To sew on.
Little tags to sew on your handmade with love gift garment or whatever. And then this has a bunch of different sayings. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's one of each of the ones that they make. So it's pretty hard to show them all.
Oh, wow.
But
I can't show them all. So this is an in-store thing then.
Yeah.
Oh, cute. There's some more handmade with love, handmade for you. But I guess I'll only be listing the handmade with love ones for now. These will go into the store.
Yeah. It's like a sample roll of Love Tarts. They all say something different.
Buy the whole bag.
Yeah.
But really happy to have found some of these made in Canada. And so we'll be stocking those from now on.
Right.
And something we forgot to mention last episode, which is a shame because we seem to do this every year, our Sheep's Thanksgiving storybook.
Yes.
Which now it's probably... Can't guarantee that you would get it through the mail by Canadian Thanksgiving. We totally dropped the ball.
Yeah.
But definitely by American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And this was illustrated by a local children's illustrator who lives just down the road from us, Lori Joyce Smith. She's done several books and written some books of her own as well. And she did the cutest little, versions of some of our sheep.
Yeah.
And the book is adorable. So that's listed. And we'll probably talk about it every Thanksgiving from now until the time we retire.
Yes.
And it was written, the text of the book, the story, was actually written by a customer of ours, Claire Moxon-Waltz.
Yeah.
And she lives over in Nova Scotia.
And I just thought of something, that this little gymnastics thing that she put on it, we didn't have Nadia.
No, or she would have been at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, so it would have been Nadia at the top. So
the stars of this one are Fancy, Dahlia, Big Wanda, and Diana, of course. Yeah. So, cute little book about how the sheep decide they're going to celebrate Thanksgiving one year here on the farm.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's up. So that's the shop update.
Yes.
Good.
So now,
yes.
Ask us anything.
Okay. Beautiful.
All right. So
oh my gosh! All of a sudden, it's a torrential downpour.
Yeah, it's been raining for a while.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm super observant. Well, it was dark and cloudy and not raining. Now it's sunny and pouring.
Yes. It's weird. Strange times we're in.
I'm like, oh, look, the sun came out, but it's raining.
Yes. So here we have a question from, we've had questions. I didn't look up her real name. It's her Ravelry name.
Okay.
So what did we say that these initials stand for?
BSKWR?
Yeah.
Is there no V in there?
No.
Oh.
Because we said basket. WR?
B square.
Do you think? Mm-hmm. I thought it was short for basket weaver, but there's no V.
Could be.
Okay. We don't know.
Okay, update on Sheila the sheep. That's Sheldon's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she went way back to episode 14 to ask this question. And I had started, apparently, in episode... But God, time flies. Because I remember when I was doing Sheila. But because I needed a project for Knit Night. Sheila's only has the top of her head still. And is still in a bag, project bag.
Right.
Not to be resurrected, I don't think, anytime soon, because I'm working on all this other stuff. And I started it because I needed a kind of mindless project to do. And I was ambitious, thinking I was going to do crochet.
Well, maybe when I get to learn to crochet to do my bikini, I will want to finish Sheila.
Yeah, sure. That would be a great
practice,
idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't make any promises because I'm swamped under my queue as you are. Like, it's...
Yeah, we want to knit everything.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to stay the course.
Lots of inspiration around.
And you never want to waste. I mean, I always finish everything eventually, so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, thank you for that question.
Yes. And
so, Missy Van 1 wants to know if you can over-dye a completed sweater. Didn't realize dye lots could be so different. Is this something that happened with the yarn of ours?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was a commercial.
Not that it couldn't, but they're very different.
Yeah. So
even commercial ones,
Yes, you would be surprised how different they are.
Yeah.
Like I always assumed that how bad could it be,
especially commercial
for
ones.
Commercial yarn. We always talk about it because there's all kinds of variables.
Hand dyed in the dye lot can be different for hand dyed because they're in a different spot in the pot.
Yes. So, yes, the commercial ones can be very different as well. And it may not be noticeable. So, Missy, it is possible that you would put the two skeins together and think that they're really close. But when you're knitting, especially if you're doing, especially when you're doing like a stockinette straights part or whatever, it's obvious.
Yeah. So can you overdye a completed sweater? Of course you can.
Yeah. The good answer is the good news.
But if you want to, you will need to. Some people just overdye, see what we'll get.
Yeah.
They just do whatever. If you're trying to hide a demarcation line, though, you're going to have to go quite a bit darker. Than what you have. And ideally in a completely different tone, I think. If you try to put another red over two reds, for example, it'll show through more than if you put... That right? I think so.
Yeah.
More than if you put like a black over the red. You're going to be somewhat limited. Depends on if it's pastel pink.
Yeah.
Or if it's like this color.
Right.
If it's pastel pink, let her rip.
Yeah.
Dye it whatever color you want, as long as it's a deeper depth of shade than what's already on there.
It's navy, I think.
Oh. Black.
You now have a black sweater. Yeah. I remember she said it's navy.
Black. That's about all you would be able to do.
Yeah.
Because I think if you try to do it darker navy, it might show through.
What about purple?
You'd have to try it.
Yeah. Which I don't know that you'd want to experiment at this point.
Not a whole lot on a finished sweater.
Yeah.
You might be able to do a dark chocolate brown.
Really? Chocolate brown. See, this is what I don't get about color, which is why you do it and I don't. Is why would you say chocolate brown? Just because it's dark?
Yeah.
Okay. It's got nothing to do with the blue underneath.
I think my chocolate brown does have some blue in it.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the weird part I don't get.
Yeah.
But chocolate brown
I don't fully
has blue in it.
Yeah. Well, navy has red and yellow in it.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking black. What I might do is, because I'm kind of a risk taker, is I might, depending what did you say if it was wool or cotton?
No.
Or, I might try to bleach it out a bit first.
Oh.
And open up my options a little.
Oh.
Lighten it up a bit.
And how would you do that? With a scour?
I would probably use our scour, or a unicorn scour, which you can buy. You can't buy the scour that we buy commercially for private use. But I might put it in a scour with some very hot water and see if I could take the depth of shade down. Because depending, how it was dyed, or it might, quite a lot might come out.
Yeah.
Because hot water, as you know, we're always like, don't put hot water on it, it'll remove the color. Well, now I'm telling you to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Because the lighter you get it, the more options you'll have. So if you took a navy and you did that and you got it down to maybe half as dark as it was, then you could probably do purple.
Yeah.
And be okay with it.
Well, that's good. And you can buy scour at a lot of yarn shops carry it.
Yeah.
For people that are washing fleeces.
Yeah, like the
spinners.
The retail one that I'm aware of is the unicorn one,
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
Yes.
So I think you put that with some hot water and soak it overnight and see how much color you can get out of it.
Don't agitate.
But try it at your own risk.
Yeah.
Don't agitate it. No, because you're going to have hot water and soap in there. Don't touch it.
Yeah, just let it soak.
Just let it soak until it goes right back down to cold the following day. Take it out. You could rinse it before dyeing. You don't necessarily have to. You could also rinse the soap out after dyeing it. But that's probably what I would do. Unless I really wanted black, I would try to lighten it first. Okay. But that's too bad that happened. And you would have been fine, even with two different dye lots, if you had alternated.
Yeah. But you don't really, it's not something that's intuitive when you're using a commercial yarn.
But I mean, like if you have a project and you're at the shop and there's half of one dye lot and half of another, you can still knit the project with those. But you're going to have to alternate them evenly instead of having a big demarcation line. Yeah. So that's interesting. Let us know what you decide and how it goes.
Yeah.
And then Brindis wants to know about adding mohair color choices.
Yes. So this has been going on in the shop now for a couple weeks.
I think I'm going to have to put a ban on you bringing that birds of a feather on set.
Okay.
It's banned from the studio. I have something in my eye.
Can you go on?
It's mohair.
Do you need to stop?
No, I think it's fine. It's moved now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've had so many people doing the Sunday cardigan with mohair and yarns that we've really gone to school on what works and what doesn't, depending on what you want for blending mohair. So the question really was quite longer than this. And could you do, like, she's asking, do you have to have colors that were matching or close to the same tone, or can you use contrasting colors? And the answer is you can do whatever you want. They all come out really differently. And it's almost like mixing paint, like colors, but on your sweater, and they're still separate. But the appearance that it gives from a distance is what the change is. So the bad answer is that you really don't know exactly how it's going to turn out until you knit with it.
Yeah. But contrasting colors come out looking like a marled or a heathered yarn. Right.
And you can take undo the ball just a little bit and wind it around something like even a knitting needle or whatever, a couple rounds with the two strands together, and it'll give you a pretty good idea. But something interesting happened with Janet, the woman that works in the shop with us, because she's done, I don't know how many Sunday cardigans she's done now. She's using one strand of mohair and one strand of Selkirk worsted when she's doing her cardigans because she wanted something lighter. And she had raspberry cordial, which is a really rich red, purpley red, I would describe it as. And we have a color in Kidsilk Haze called Blushes, which is a beautiful, it's not really dusty rose, but it's kind of like a deep dusty rose.
Yeah.
Is that how you would describe it?
It's like a pomegranate color.
Yeah. So she thought that would be gorgeous. I also thought that it would be gorgeous, but the depth of shade of the blushes is lighter than the raspberry cordial. So what ended up happening was that you could see, instead of creating a halo effect, you could actually see the strand of the silk, which was whiter. It looked white next to the, it wasn't white, but because it was so like a paler shade, it made this kind of marled effect that that's not what she wanted. Right. So she took that project out and did another, I think she used either mulberry or liqueur. And probably mulberry.
Must be mulberry. It's
mulberry.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Mulberry and raspberry cordial. Thumbs up.
Yes, it was gorgeous. So that had the effect, because the mulberry is a little bit darker than the raspberry cordial, of this beautiful
it's
richness.
Stunning. It looks like a ruby.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah. So
it's my favorite, I think.
Yeah. So unless you want to see a marled effect, your Kidsilk Haze should be in a deeper tone than the yarn that you're putting it over, or else you can see the actual thread. It's not just the haze that you get, you see the actual thread of the yarn. On the other hand, you can, if your yarn has a lot of variegation in it, I did a whole series of swatches with cream and variegated yarns, and you couldn't see it didn't have a marl effect. It just had that kind of hazy white fluff.
And so then Janet took the blushes and put it over lilac.
Yes.
And that's also amazing.
Yes. So now the blushes is slightly deeper than the lilac. And now she's doing that, and it's perfect.
Yeah. Can you message her and ask her to bring those projects back tomorrow? And I'll actually take photos.
Yeah, sure.
And then hopefully we've inserted them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So so it just depends on what you're after. If you want it to like richen up the color that you have, then you need to be in the same tone, but deeper for the Kidsilk Haze. Gives the best effect, we think. But it's honestly, it just depends on what you want. If you want to have an obvious marled effect, then the lighter is fine.
Contrast.
Yeah,
lighter
more
or darker,
contrast.
either one.
And if you really want to do a whole experiment and how it looks, this is what Arne and Carlos explored in the New Nordic Unisex, there's lots of
layered colors and stuff.
Yeah. So the sweater Thor. Yeah. Thor. It's not just THO. It's THOR. So I don't know exactly what that is. I'm gonna look
for the picture.
Yeah.
It's a lovely one.
Yes. So that sweater actually uses Phantom, which is like a brown felted tweed, and overlay. They call it an overlay effect, and it overlays Golden Poppy, which is a bright orange, and I don't remember what the other two are.
It's this
Heavenly
one here.
And Ruby, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, they want to have
marled.
the marled effect.
Oh, yeah. In this picture now, I totally can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are beautiful.
Yeah.
What a nice book.
Yeah.
And they're so charming.
Yeah.
We are so thrilled to have gotten to work with them on something.
Yeah.
Like, they're just wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that
does this last one say we're not getting the newsletter?
Yes.
Okay. So people are struggling still with getting the newsletter.
Yes. So we've said this before, but it's worth repeating. So every time I get a note saying I can't get the news, I'm not getting the newsletter, it's always the same. Okay. So if you have signed into our e-commerce site and have an account in the e-commerce site, that does not mean you've signed up for the newsletter.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not the same thing.
In fact, by default, what the e-commerce site does is say that you don't want marketing emails.
Yeah. And I can change that, I think.
Yes.
But it's probably not great with the anti-spam laws.
No, we're not really
we're not
allowed to change it.
Yeah.
There is a way for us to edit it, but unless you write to us and give us permission to do it, we don't do it.
Yeah.
So you have to go down to the bottom of the home screen, and there's a space for your email, and it says subscribe. You have to put in your email address there, and then you will get the newsletter. Hit subscribe.
Yeah. Just purchasing something doesn't get you on it.
No, even if you've created an account.
Yeah. So just
so
yeah, we have all kinds of people that are like in our system, but they're not getting the newsletter because you have to go through that subscribe box is the only way.
It has to be intentional.
Because you're basically giving us permission to add you to the mailing list.
Right.
And in Canada, with our anti-spam laws, you need permission.
Yeah. You can't just send out emails to people.
And some companies still do, and boy, does it ever annoy me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are no assumptions to be made about using people's personal contact info in Canada anymore.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to have express permission to do so.
Right.
And you have to provide a way for them to unsubscribe with every single thing that you send out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I think it's always the same thing, like you say. It's always the same issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I can't think of an example where I've gone in and the box was checked for accepts email.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can subscribe through your checkout cart.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. Like you can I want to receive emails. That's another way, but most people don't even see it.
Yeah.
You're hitting the pay now button and you're not even really paying attention.
Right.
Yeah. But you have to opt in.
Yes, you have to opt in. It has to be intentional.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. And like we said, we can do it, but we don't do it unless you expressly
we really
write
can't.
to us.
It's actually against the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The site has a mechanism for us to check it, but we're not following the rules if we do that. So we don't we don't do it unless we expressly get an email.
Yeah. And speaking of subscribing.
Yes.
So I think there's a large portion of people watching our videos now that still aren't subscribed.
Right.
Is that right? Because we get metrics on that.
Yes.
Yes. So we're begging you to go in and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. On YouTube.
Because we have a little bit of a goal that we want to hit by Christmas time on YouTube. And now we're making this your responsibility. Help us help you.
Yeah.
Or help us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these things are very, very, very important in YouTube. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't kind of work in this sphere, you are either punished or rewarded for the behavior of your community. Mm-hmm. And when you subscribe, it helps YouTube get the message that our content is desirable, and they will show it to more people.
Right.
And that helps us get more exposure, and it helps our community grow.
Yeah.
And we'd love it if you'd also hit the notification bell.
Yes.
But we'll take just subscribing.
And the notification bell just lets you know when we've published a new or released a new
And if we can hit
podcast.
our little goal that I have by Christmas time, which is to reach 10,000 subscribers.
Right.
It's a lofty goal.
Yeah.
But if you help us, we'll do a fun giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we hit it. Something really good.
Yeah.
Gonna come up with something really good.
Yeah, we'll come up with something good.
Yeah. So if you haven't subscribed already, we would greatly appreciate if you would go in and do it. Bonus points for hitting the notification bell.
Yes.
And also, we'd love a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. And please keep your comments coming because that is what makes all of this worthwhile.
Yeah,
I think if we didn't get the feedback,
yeah,
we almost wouldn't bother doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
I get up every morning.
Yeah.
To get my coffee, and I go and I read comments.
It's seriously the highlight of our day sometimes.
Yes.
And it does give us a lot of feedback about what to do and what not to do on the episodes, although most people are extremely kind. And we have just a hilarious, wonderful community. So one thing that Arne and Carlos said after their presentation was very hard because you have no interaction with the audience. They're used to playing to a live audience.
Yeah.
Not playing technically, but and it's kind of like that with your YouTube channel if you don't get any comments.
Right. You don't know.
Like we're talking to no one.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very isolating. And so we love the interaction. So even though we sometimes say, oh my gosh, I'm behind on the comments or whatever, we love the comments.
We've read them all.
Oh, we read them all.
Yeah.
I never miss it fully.
No.
Like I go back through and make sure we've read every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so does our mother.
Yeah. And our mother does too.
And so does
family
Ken.
members.
And so does Ken. Actually, he's sometimes in there before I get there.
Yeah,
reading the comments.
Does he have it like on his phone, like all saved up, ready to?
No. He goes to the computer.
Okay. Oh, he goes to the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and really, you all are the best.
Yeah.
We have the best customers.
Yeah.
We feel so fortunate. You know, we mess up sometimes. Things are late occasionally. You're just the most understanding, supportive group.
Yeah.
And we really, really love and appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, for being here.
So
but
much.
we're still asking for a favor.
Yeah.
Please subscribe.
Okay. So I think that's it.
That's it. It was a really exciting week.
Yeah. Yeah, really. We're still kind of a little bit on riding the high of the success of the event. Very thankful.
Yeah.
It really went. There was really only, like out of all those people, there was only a couple that had some technical issues and they figured it out.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And unless they missed the time zone, which was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because really Arne and Carlos went first and, you know... Well, Trisha was amazing as well, but...
we tried to be as obvious about what the time... The time is tricky, but...
Yeah.
I was using the universal time...
Right.
Whatever the C stands for code.
People think that there's no... that Atlantic is Eastern. It's not.
No.
We're in a different part of the country.
Yeah.
We're not on the New York, New England time zone. We're an hour ahead.
Yeah.
We have our own.
Yeah.
We're super special like that. And Newfoundland don't even get us started.
Yeah,
they're half an hour.
It's a half an hour difference.
Yeah, so strange.
Yeah,
sometimes of the year.
If you're not Canadian, you wouldn't know about this, but there is always a CBC, the public broadcaster here. It's always they would announce 8:00 Atlantic,
8:30 in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Those poor Newfoundland people. How did they ever know what time anything was at?
Yeah. So then it would be. It's every show that they would announce. They would announce the show. They always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9:30 in Newfoundland.
9:30 in Newfoundland. Half hour later in Newfoundland.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I thought they had eliminated that at one time.
I don't know.
Where they talk about it often.
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like eliminating daylight savings time.
I'm assuming it's still there, but I don't know.
I think it definitely is because someone mentioned it.
Oh yes, and then I have a call tomorrow where we had to.
It's 10:30
we clarified.
in
Newfoundland. No, it's 10:30 here.
Oh, okay.
11 o'clock
11
in Newfoundland.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll say goodbye.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Have a good 2 weeks.
Yeah.